Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Arcane episode 8. So last episode we had that really cool fight between Powder and Echo where it kind of flashed in between this flashback they were having. That was really cool. I don't think either of them are dead because of course it ended with the explosion. I don't think Powder is reckless enough to like kill herself in an explosion like that, but I feel like both of them are probably injured, maybe quite badly, but I don't think either of them are dead. However, Marcus, it seems like we have lost at this point, and that's actually quite tragic because I was really hoping Marcus would get a bit of a redemption. He seemed to like have a conscience and start to be putting things on the right track, but his redemption was almost cut short here. It was really tragic. And then of course to see what's happening with Victor here, because he's injected himself now, or it was like about to. So he's working with Signed, who is this guy who actually invented the shimmer. So I really want to see the consequences and the payoff for that, and if Jace, what Jace's reaction to that will be. And I want to see what Heimerdinger is doing, because he is now in Zorn, he's in the Undercity, and he's down there doing some back dealings or like looking for Victor. There's something more going on with him, so I'm really interested to see what he's doing as well. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you can find early access to next week's episode, which will be the finale obviously. You can also find polls so you can vote for what's next, and you can find full-length timer-based reactions where you just sync up your own footage in case there's anything I cut out of the YouTube edit that you wanted to see. So yeah, let's just jump right in. So what are going to be the consequences of this explosion? The Enforcer's going to take revenge on Marcus, start a big war, and who is it head of the Enforcers now as well? Okay, this is like a younger Mel, a bit of backstory. A blood-stained throne, what imagery.
Kino says war is a failure of statecraft.
Your brother thinks he can talk his way out of anything.
I like this, keeping her face not visible.
The wolf.
So she's saying sometimes war is necessary.
You'd give me a throne.
I will give you the world, child, if you prove you can take it.
I know she's mentioned before she has some like family issues. She's like the poorest out of her extremely rich family, right? There's like a lot of family pressure on her.
Live and you may need to kill thousands.
We can show the people we are merciful.
Oh, wow.
A wolf has no mercy.
Will you be okay? I'll be right back. Okay.
It's like running back onto the battlefield.
Jinx.
Silco's the first one there as well. Right, it should have been Vi to help her. I don't know how Jinx would have responded to that though, Oh, she has it.
It was all for nothing.
Oh, look at that, like, only showing her half her face, So we saw from that flashback Mel's mum saying, you have to be ruthless, you can't show any mercy when it comes to war. War is sometimes necessary. So I'm wondering if this is going to ramp things up and Mel is going to try and start a war with Zorn, with Silco, sending the Enforcers after her to like make an example, because now Marcus is dead. Killing so many Enforcers is a big act.
Sir, we've secured the area. I've got orders to escort you back into the city. You alright?
Oh, yeah. I need to see that frame again, but it looked like proper violent, like one of their heads, like it looked like brain was spilling out a bit, and then he's just seen one of these robotic firelights. So maybe they can piece it together, or they'll blame it on the firelights because it's these little robotic firelights. They won't know it was actually Jinx.
Your actions reflect on the entire body.
You know what else reflects on the council? It's citizens living on the streets, being poisoned in a government that doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, her actions speak to the council, but their inaction also speaks.
You and your friend can address the council yourselves.
So Vi is going to speak to the whole council. Oh, are they going to give her shimmer to like help her survive?
Are you prepared to lose her?
Jinx! Jinx!
She won't die.
Yes, she's too strong to die. She's too strong-willed.
Please understand this is for your own sanity.
Oh, he's injecting it into Silco. Is he betraying him, or is it just to like get him out of the way while he can perform surgery?
Thought I might bend you here.
Ah, Silco's underlings kind of uprising a bit.
Run a tight ship, don't you? Except it's not your ship.
It's Silco's ship.
And Jinx's.
Yeah, we've already seen Sabika. She doesn't like how much he works with Jinx.
He's slipping. The Undercity is devolving into chaos.
You know, we've already seen Sabika lost trust in Vanda. Is she going to lose trust in Sabika as well?
Ego is one thing, brains another.
Oh, listen, Mel's mother. See her face this time. Yeah, she looks like, you know, what a big general. She's got this army.
I sent you here to oversee our family's interests.
Perhaps your sentimentality will be more at home with those soft-spined idealists overseas.
You have your father's memory. Your Jace Talus has turned his eye to Hextech weaponry.
I knew it.
Oh, she's interested in the weaponry. Is that why she's really here? I feel like the mum, she's going to be planting the seeds for war.
Miss Medarda.
Yes?
Yes?
Who's this Prince Charming guy?
Present our case to the council tonight.
How's the council going to react to Vi, though? Her being from the Undercity?
We pretended to be bigger and bigger monsters. I pretended to chase my own monsters away, and a real monster showed up.
Oh, Silco, yeah.
I left her.
She didn't run away, though. Marcus took her away, and then she got arrested and everything. It wasn't... Yeah, it's not really her fault, is it? Oh, that's a great cut between the two. Yeah, so she's being injected with Shimmer, but I feel like Signed, he knows what he's doing. He invented it. He knows the right amount to give her and everything.
You know, Powder, you're stronger than you think.
So she's seeing a vision of Vi, but it was words of encouragement.
I understand this must be painful.
Yeah, she definitely feels like Caitlin's replacing her. So, you know, Powder's had to go through all of this surgery and stuff. Is Echo going to be in the same situation? Just as damaged or what? What's it like for Heimerdinger being here because he's so small as well, you know? Even difficulter for him. Can't really protect himself, can he? Just gotta keep your head down and go unnoticed, you know?
Oh.
She reminds me of Marcus's daughter a bit, because they both got the red hair. Do a little magic. Oh, a little spinning top. Oh, it's the hoverboard.
Properly pitched.
You're wrong. It's designed for the fissures. Air is denser.
Did he like fall off of the bridge? So it saved him from the explosion a bit.
What are you doing on this side of the river?
I wanted to offer my assistance to the citizens of the Undercity. It seems I'm unwelcome.
Yeah.
You're holding my ride.
Can he fix it? And then just carry him on the little board?
Navigating your current crisis requires expertise you lack.
She's got the military expertise.
What could anyone in the Undercity offer him that he didn't have up here?
It's not what they offered him. It's what he had to lose.
Yeah, because they were threatening him.
People are starving, sick, ravaged by Shimmer. They live in constant fear of the coordinated efforts of violent crime lords. One man leads these efforts, Silco.
Going to war with Silco instead of going to war with the Undercity, that's a bit more reasonable.
This Jinx has the gemstone. Then we have to go in by force.
That could trigger war.
We've been talking about talking for weeks now. When do we say enough is enough?
Jace, you don't know war. I do.
Yeah, she's seen the consequence of it.
There may be a diplomatic solution.
You can't talk to him. He hates you. Everything you stand for.
But Vi is pushing for war as well a bit here, though.
I remember where your fancy damn door is.
It looked like they got through to Mel a bit there, though.
This is how things are, how they've always been. I was so stupid to think it could change. Top side and bottom, oil and water, that's all there is.
Oil and water, name of the episode, because they can't mix.
What about us?
Oil and water wasn't meant to be.
Oh. Is he walking? for the first time. So it's like shimmer and technology combined a bit there. Or is that like his brace like infused into his leg? It looks almost like a prosthetic. But like having the ability to walk and run after all of this time. He's not going to become like addicted to this though, is he? And Sky's going to walk in on him doing this.
I've been working on this for a year now. Victor?
Oh, he's like carved the rune marks into him.
Everything you do inspires me.
I feel this isn't going to end well. Or maybe she walked in at the exact right time. What is happening? I don't know if this is what Victor wanted or... Oh! She just disintegrated. Victor's hand got transformed as well there.
Sky? No.
Sky's just completely disappeared. What happened to her though? And this looks even more organic now. Has it like absorbed her? Is there like some equal exchange there? Like it absorbed her life force or something? Her life force into Victor so he will live even longer now or something? We've seen Jace forging stuff before. He's making weaponry. This must be his hammer he's building here, right? That we see in the opening. And Vi's gonna spur him on as well.
Yeah. I want to make Silco pay.
Oh, she's got the gauntlets.
You're the one she trusted to do something.
Yeah, she knows he wants to make actual change, but I don't think this is the right call.
Silco controls the Undercity with Shimmer. Shut down his supply, and it's only a matter of time before his own people turn on him.
Yeah, they've already started turning.
Hit him hard and fast before he can react.
Hit him where it hurts in the monetary side. Okay, so he's getting the enforcers to do it. They're not just like single-handedly doing it. So is it this big like full-on multi-level operation? Oh, there's a siren. Send it off to all the other manufacturing sites as well then. Oh, they've just got these guys on standby ready to attack. Look how quick they are as well. They're like, they've got like suits of armor on as well. Are they like programmed to like, what's going on here? And that must be Vi as well. Jason Vi teaming up. Wonder how good Jace is at battle. They always have a great way of hyping up these fights, especially with the music. Building up. Oh, the animation. The impact frames, like, come on. Yeah, this effect on Jace's hammer is so cool. He's got that force field. Yeah, the other fights have been good so far, but this is just another level. All of these effects. Oh, it's like the effect of the Hextech gem, right? He's like charging it up. Oh, we can use it as a cannon. I don't know, he might be losing it a bit there. Oh. Misfired and hit that kid. Yeah, that's gonna do a number on him, isn't it? we saw Jace, he was like losing control a bit there. I don't know if he was like enjoying the fight, but like he's not used to all of this action and keeping calm in the moment. He was just like letting all of his rage out for a bit there. Oh, he's still alive. No, yeah, that's just the nail in the coffin for him. What's Jace gonna say to all of these people? Yeah, it's all just kids, slave labor. You know, is a child dying to the hands of Jace? That is just like gonna spur on war even more if the people of the Undercity find out. Oh, it's going backwards. She's just trying to remember everything. You know, I wasn't sure if there was any like romantic interest between the two because they were like flirting a bit before, but that was when Caitlyn was kind of like in character in the brothel, right? But like what they were saying earlier, it does make it seem like there is like some romance going on there. Oh, Jinx is here. End of the episode, right? So Jinx has gone. She's managed to get up into the Overcity, into Piltover, and what is going to attack Caitlyn now? Okay, so that was episode 8 of Arcane, and this show, it just has a great way of hyping up all of the action. You know, the music starts to kick in right before the action, and it's just building up and building up. And this fight scene was just like on another level. Even before, all of these fight scenes have been great, especially last episode. Last episode's fight scene was amazing as well. This one, just all of the effects with the impact frames, they were super exaggerated with the impact frames here. Just whenever Jace like made contact, it felt like it just stood on that impact frame for like seconds, and then that kind of applied to Vi's gauntlets as well. So I think it's like showing off the power of the Hextech gems, right? That was just amazing. What a great fight scene. And you know, this show, it doesn't drag out the fight scenes. You know, sometimes it can feel in some shows like the fight scene is the main attraction while you're there, but this show is the storytelling and the story crafting leading to some great fight scenes. It's not that the story is working its way to whatever the next fight is going to be, you know? The fights and the story kind of go organically together. It's not like the story is just forcing itself to create a bunch of random fights here and there that will look cool. So all of the fights do have like significance and meaning, you know? And they feel realistic. It's not like this whole, you know, this was a really, really cool sequence, but it was only like a minute or two, like in real time watching it and in the episode watching it. And like in universe, like it's a quick fight. It's like realistic. It's not like these long stretched out fights. I do actually wish the fights could be a little bit longer, like not crazily long, like a whole episode, just because they are so gorgeous. Having them be just a tiny bit longer would just be so great, but I understand like why they're not. So we started off this episode with Mel's backstory, introduced to Mel's mum. They did a great way of building her up, like not showing her face right at the start, just shrouding it in shadows, you know. And I think this whole episode was just planting the seeds for war, you know. Mel's mum saying how you have to be merciless as a leader. You have to be what was her exact wording? You have to be a fox and a sheep. Maybe it wasn't a fox, it was like a wolf and a fox or something. So you have to fill both roles as a leader. You have to be diplomatic, but you do have to take action sometimes as well. That's what she's saying, and I do kind of agree with that. But I feel like she pushes the war a bit too hard, you know? But this whole episode, it was just building up to this war, and it feels like Jace killing this kid, that might actually be the turning point. You know, he's gone off on his own, and he's done this thing. It's directly blood on his hands now, Jace killing this kid. And I think the Undercity, if they rebel, they are very like within their right, obviously, because one of their children have been killed by like the higher, you know, by the highest person in the land. So this is just like the impetus of war. War is almost guaranteed at this point. I don't think there's anything like democracy wise that could be saved. Like Mel was trying to be civil about it. Maybe there is some way we can do this civilly without having to resort to violence. But I do think Vi was kind of right as well. You know, that's the thing here. All of the characters are right to some extent. Everyone is right in their own opinions. You know, Vi was right saying that Silco probably isn't going to change. I don't think Silco would, you know, there'd be some diplomatic solution for Silco. Silco wants all of this power and he hates Piltover like to his core, doesn't he? I don't think he would accept some compromise with them like Vander did. And they were saying how they had investigations into Silco, but of course none of that worked because Marcus was on Silco's payroll, you know? Well, he wasn't even on the payroll, he was being threatened. That's what they were guessing at there as well. They were saying, well, why would Marcus do that? He's, you know, this rich higher up, he doesn't need the money. But it wasn't about money for Marcus, it was at the start. But now Marcus is in this high place, he doesn't need to worry about money, but Silco is like threatening him, threatening his daughter. I do wonder what's going to happen with his daughter now as well, because we never really got to see Marcus's like wife or partner or anything. But you know, I'm wondering if Vi or Powder find out about what happened to Marcus. Well, they know what happened to Marcus, but if they find out he has a daughter, you know, there's some parallels there, losing them being orphans as well. And you know, on the Silco side, we're still seeing some mistrust with Silco. This new character Finn, who we introduced last episode, he obviously has some distrust with Silco. And then Savika as well. Savika, she's already betrayed Vander because she didn't think Vander was doing enough, and now everything with Silco and Powder, she doesn't think Silco is doing enough. So there is precedent for Savika to change teams, to betray the leader of the Undercity. So maybe Savika and Finn will try and take over from Silco. You know, Silco, he is this big drug lord character, but he's not like untouchable. Like there's a lot of times where he's out in the field himself, isn't he? So there's a lot of opportunity to strike, to like just shoot him, to kill him. There's like a lot of opportunity to betray him there. He isn't just this guy who keeps on the down low in the shadows. He is out in the field a lot of the time as well. But that just puts him at more danger, doesn't it? But, you know, him being out in the field, it shows that he isn't afraid of this danger. It's a good way to build him up as a villain, right? We had this great moment with Vi talking to Caitlin, and she was telling this story about her and Powder. They used to have these conversations imagining them being bigger and bigger monsters. And I think, you know, there's some obvious symbolism there that maybe Powder, she's become this bigger monster, but she was also saying how she would pretend to save her from the monsters whenever the parents came, and then when an actual monster came in Silco, she couldn't save her. But I still think Vi can't really blame herself, because Marcus had like chloroformed her and dragged her away, and then whatever happened that led to her arrest, I don't know if that was like in her control or not. And she probably did just assume that Powder had died there, that Silco had killed Powder. So none of this is really Vi's fault. You know, I feel like a lot of stuff that happens in the show, you can't really blame one individual person. It's all systemic issues that cause all of these things to happen, you know? And then on Vi and Caitlin, it does feel like there is some romantic interest there. I wasn't like 100% sure. You know, we had like a bit of flirting with them, but they were like in the brothel, they were like in character a bit. But then the way Caitlin was saying like, what about us? And then Vi was like, oh, there's nothing there, just go back to your rich life, you know? So I feel like there is actually some romantic undertones there, or at least Caitlin is definitely interested in Vi, and I feel like that might be reciprocated a bit in Vi. It's just she's angry in the moment there. And then at the end, when Powder is potentially kidnapping Caitlin, you know, I have this suspicion Powder is already very jealous of Caitlin. So if Vi comes after Caitlin to come save her, what message is that going to send to Powder? That Vi cares more about Caitlin than Powder? Is Powder going to like make this point saying, oh, why are you coming to save her? You never came to save me. This is going to be very interesting the next episode, and obviously the next episode is the final episode. So I'm wondering where it goes from here, because there must be planned future seasons. This doesn't feel like every single thing is going to be wrapped up here. I think maybe the show will end as war has started, or maybe next episode will start at the start of this like new war, people uprising everywhere, just kind of chaos ensuing. But the main like heart and the main focus of the next episode will be this Powder and Vi, see what's happening there. We also see this episode Echo and Heimerdinger interact, which wasn't what I was expecting, you know. So Heimerdinger said he came down into Vaughn, into the Undercity, just to try and help out whatever he can, but he was kind of shunned away by the people here. And you know, the people here, they're rightly distrustful of like everyone. I don't think they didn't necessarily know that he was from Piltover. They just saw, oh, it's just this guy talking to the kid, you know. Of course, as a parent, you'd be like, no, get away from my kid, you know. But I feel like the people in the Undercity, of course, there'd be prejudice against the people of Piltover, especially if they're coming in and like trying to change things. There's always a reason to be cautious there if you're from the Undercity. But I am wondering, is Heimerdinger going to be working with Echo now? Or is he going to be like upgrading his hoverboard, upgrading some of his kit? You know, Heimerdinger, he does want what's best, even though he has like neglected the Undercity when he was in power. But maybe being here, seeing all of the people, it will shed some light onto him, and he sees that there's good people here, obviously, with the kids and with Echo. So maybe he'll be supporting Echo here. Hopefully Echo has a big role in the finale as well. And then what is happening with Victor? He's just like, Assistant Sky has been disintegrated. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. It feels like something, she was like fading away, but it reminded me a bit of like Alchemy from Full Metal Alchemist, like the visuals of that. And I am wondering, has it like taken her life force or something? Because the Hextech core, that looks different now. It looks almost more organic now. I'm just wondering what's going on there. Is there some like sentience to this magic system, and it is like using Victor a little bit to become more organic like that? And then his like injured leg is almost like half robotic. It's like a cyborg now. And then we saw the hand that he touched Sky with. That hand has also transformed now. So is Victor just gonna be transforming into this like half human, half Hextech hybrid, you know? I don't know what's happening here and like what state he's in now, because he seemed like pretty okay. He didn't seem like he was that injured, but like what is actually going on with him? Okay, so I think that's everything for this episode. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment, and if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date for all of the future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.